Hey there, it's me, Mari or Octowings, and welcome back or welcome to the channel. And today I am back with more installations to my MLP Infection AU, which was a total fan favorite, and I just want to say thank you for all the support that I got on that video. Wow. And if you're interested in checking out my first video, I'll be linking a playlist up here for you that you can check out. In that video, I will be giving a more in-depth rundown of how this disease works and how it spreads. So if you're interested in that, you can go check it out, but I'll also be giving kind of a TLDR version in this video. And I would just like to begin by saying, if you are under 13, I recommend watching this video instead. It's where I redesign the MLP characters as humans, and I think it's a lot more suitable for you, so you should check it out instead. Alright, enough with this intro, let's get into talking about the disease. If you've been anywhere on TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube, you've definitely heard of the MLP Infection AU. It is everywhere, it's creepy, it's cool, and yeah, I just wanted to put my own spin on it. I would like to say mine falls less under the analog horror and jump scare versions that I keep seeing online, and it's not really spore-based or zombie. Well, it's kind of like zombie. It's based off lore from the actual show. And it's actually based off the season 2 episode, The Cutie Pox, where Apple Bloom takes this potion and basically she gets taken over by all these cutie marks all over her body and she loses control of her body. And when thinking about this disease, I was also really inspired by chronic wasting disease in deer, hence the name. And yeah, I know that horses don't get this disease, but I just wanted to think about how it spreads and how it infects people rather than how it really works, because this disease to me is magic. So it's basically a much more dangerous version of cutie pox, where the cutie mark literally takes over the body and creates a zombie out of the person, because all they can do is partake in their habit or their talent, and it literally ends up harming the pony because they cannot, you know, eat, sleep, or rest, so they have no control. Phew, enough with the intro. In my last video, I went over half of the main 6. I went over Applejack, Rarity, and Rainbow Dash, but in this video, I'll be doing the rest of the main 6, plus Starlight Glimmer and Spike. And yeah, let's get right into it. So yeah, what's our first character I'll be drawing today? And it's none other than our girl Starlight Glimmer. And in the first video, I was just giving like a speculative kind of like, oh, what would happen to these ponies if they got this virus? But hey, why not make it kind of have lore? So we are gonna have some saviors here and people who want to save the ponies. And yeah, starting with Starlight. It's a given obvious choice. She's the only character in the show who has been shown to remove cutie marks. So I had the idea, why not make some ponies immune? So what I did is I made Starlight Glimmer immune because I feel like that fits, and she also has this power, like I said, taking away cutie marks, which could be crucial to healing ponies. But Starlight isn't really happy with her role because there is so much pressure upon her to save the entire pony population from this terrible disease. And this pressure also is really traumatic for Starlight because she doesn't want to do this. This whole process brings her back to a really traumatic part in her life, and she just sometimes wishes that maybe she was infected herself so she wouldn't have to deal with all this pressure. And all this magic exertion is not going to be good for girls, so I gave her a really sore horn and a sore cutie mark, and like, I gave a ton of mud splotches on her just to show that she's been out in the field, and she's not going to be sleeping or taking rest, so of course she's going to look a little busted. And I think another reason for Starlight's pain is that she's not going to be able to heal the main 6, which I will go into because they're either lost or just too violent. Alright, that was really dark. I'm sorry guys, poor Starlight. But we're going to be going on to our next savior, Mr. Spike over here. Also, since Spike is a dragon, I just think that they would be inherently immune to the disease, because how would it affect them, you know? But even though Spike isn't affected physically, he's still in a lot of mental anguish because Twilight's too unstable to help and Rarity is missing. And those are the two ponies that Spike looks up to the most, so of course he's going to want to help out Starlight and be the lookout. I believe that he flies all over Equestria looking for ponies that have the ability to be healed. So usually that would fall under the category of like a passive talent like flower keeping or something like that, where it would just be a lot of stress and fatigue rather than being extremely unstable or just missing, because I feel like a lot of the main 6's talents would fall under those categories. Alright, enough with the uninfected ponies, let's get into the ones that are actually infected, starting with Pinkie Pie. And with Pinkie Pie's main talent being making other people laugh, it was really difficult for me to come up with a concept for her. But I kind of settled on the idea of kind of her like being an acrobat and a gymnast, like, cause like, you know, she's always jumping all over the place, so what if she like had no limits? What if she did that until her bones physically broke, kind of like Applejack? And when Pinkie sees that people aren't laughing anymore, she only does it more, which ends up making her injuries very severe, like several sprains, breaks, and just contorting her body in a way that is physically so unhealthy for her. And since we have Starlight, who's basically the cure, you might be thinking, oh, why are they still infected? Well, the answer is obvious. You've seen how spontaneous and crazy that Pinkie is uninfected, so imagine what a menace she would be if she was infected and had no limits to what her body could do. There would be no way for Starlight or Spike or other uninfected ponies to detain her without getting infected themselves or physically injuring themselves. Sorry, Pinkie Pie, I feel so bad for you. I wish I could save you, I really do. I'm sorry I did this to you. Oh. Now onto our next infected pony, Fluttershy. I know a lot of people were debating how would I make her into an infected pony. Well, the answer is obvious. Animals are dangerous. In the show, Fluttershy is really good with animals. She even works with a bear. But if she doesn't have this kind of sense of where to stop, that's going to end up really bad for her, because this want to help animals is going to take over and she's going to scare them. And what happens when an animal gets scared? They bite or they fight back. So for Fluttershy's design, I gave her a lot of bites, and I also gave her fleas, because if she's working with so much animals and not being able to clean herself, she's obviously going to get some kind of like bug on her. That's why there's bald spots. I also gave her a bear bite and a venomous snake bite. I also made her wings bald because I feel like the mites or the fleas would have made Fluttershy want to pull them out. And yeah, that's why they're bald. And similar to Rarity, I don't think that Fluttershy would be inherently really dangerous. I just think that she would go missing. She would probably go into the Everfree Forest and try to find as many animals as she could. And if you know anything about the Everfree Forest, it is like you cannot find a single thing in there. It is literally a dead end everywhere you walk. So Spike is not going to be able to navigate the trees to find Fluttershy. Dang, sorry Fluttershy, I wish I could save you, like, again, like, sorry girl. But yeah, onto our next pony and final pony, Twilight Sparkle. Twilight is known for two things, her love for studying and her being the element of magic, but I decided to go with her magic abilities because I feel like this would make her a lot more unstable and a lot more dangerous. And I was really heavily inspired from things that she has done throughout the show, like her final battle with T-Rex, where she got all of the alicorn magic transferred to her, and she basically had this big beam of light coming out of her horn, as well as her season 4 finale, where she kind of turned rainbow. And I think if Twilight had no, like, restrictions on her magic, she would basically blow up. And that's basically what I wanted to portray in her design, so I made her horn, like, broken, I made her wings tattered, and I just made her look very tired. And Twilight would obviously be the most dangerous pony if she were to get infected, because imagine all of that alicorn magic really having no restrictions. I think it would be having some kind of power close to that of a bomb, which is really scary to think about. And obviously, like I said with Starlight Glimmer, all of this magic exertion is not going to be good for her, and it's probably like 10 times as much as Starlight. So of course her horn's going to explode, and of course she's going to be so fatigued, and yeah. And I think it's really sad of me to say this, while the other ones of the main 6 are definitely very hazardous or just missing, I think that Twilight may be just said as a lost cause, because at this point, imagine all of that raw magic. Like, it would be such a danger to everyone in society that maybe they wouldn't even care about Twilight anymore. They would just see her as, like, a weapon, and they would just want her gone. Ugh, sorry, Twilight, guys. Twilight's my favorite, and this hurt me to say. I'm sorry I did this to you, girl. You know, maybe Starlight will be able to save you. Please. So here are my final designs of the infected ponies and Starlight and Spike, and if you have any ideas on this AU, I would love to hear it in the comment section below, because I love hearing your ideas. And if you liked the video, consider liking and subscribing, because it actually means so much to me. Thanks to the last video, I got monetized, and I doubled my subscriber count, which is absolutely crazy. So if you would like to see more of my work, I would really appreciate it. And with that, I really hope you have a great rest of your day or night, and I'll see you next week. Bye!